And welcome to Let Them Talk. I'm Paul De Rienzo.
And I'm Miss Joan Marie Musi.
And we're proud to have Brenton Lengel, the playwright, and he's going to talk about this really beautiful play. I'm going to see a clip from it later on that he wrote called North to Maine, which is about a group of people who become friends, really. They don't start out as friends, really. They become friends by walking 2,000 miles, more than 2,000 miles. You'll tell us the exact mileage on the Appalachian Trail. And you're claiming that this is the first play ever written about the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although there's been a lot of things written about it.
Yeah, there's been a number of books. The most famous one would be A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson.
I love that book.
It's a terrific book, yeah. It really is. And there's also a number of self-published books that have come off. One of the most famous ones is AWOL on the AT. And then, of course, the very first book that was written about it was Walking with Spring by Earl Schaefer, who was the first man to ever hike the Appalachian Trail.
And it spans all the way from Maine to Georgia.
Correct.
Down the East Coast. Not the coast, but the eastern part of the United States.
And I guess my question is, what's the difference? Because in the play they keep talking about this, of being a southbounder and a northbounder.
Well, the northbound thru-hikers and southbound thru-hikers, it's two different ways to do the trail.
A thru-hiker is someone who's doing the whole 2,000 miles.
In one go. Yeah.
In one go. And then you get a medal for that or something?
Well, once you finish the trail, you can register yourself as a 2,000 miler. And that's whether you're a thru hiker or you're a section hiker if you do it all at once.
Now, why would you choose to go one direction or the other? Because I think I would start in the north and go south, having grown up in the south. I would want to end up there. So.
Yeah, well, that's one of the major reasons as to why you'd want to go south. The traditional way to do the Appalachian Trail is to go north.
Oh, really? To start in Georgia?
Yeah, you start in Georgia in the snow, usually in spring, like March or April.
Oh, I see. You time it by time of year.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, that
and
makes
then
sense.
you wind up in the fall, almost winter, in Maine.
Exactly. Well, the idea is to try to walk with spring the entire way up. So a lot of thru-hikers aim to finish in like August or September. If you take
how long does it take about?
6 months is the average. Yeah, I did it in about 5.5. You can do it in like 2 or 3 months, but there's really no reason to do that because you miss so much.
Wow. So when did you get the idea while you were walking this trail to actually write a play about it?
Well, it's funny. I grew up hiking, and my dad, like I was 8 years old, he told me that the Appalachian Trail existed, and I was like...
so it was an early goal.
A very early goal.
Oh,
I think
nice.
he explained to me, we were camping in the backyard in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and he told me that there's this trail that runs 2,176 miles from Maine to Georgia.
And you're like, I'm going to do it.
That's exactly what. And he was like, of course you will, Brent.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah. And so here, I like this. This is the official map, and it's a beautiful map. I just wanted to show it, and it shows where it begins by my finger here in the south in Georgia. It's Springer, right? A place called Springer Mountain. And then it goes up through North Carolina, Tennessee, a lot of Virginia, West Virginia, where I've seen it in West Virginia by Harper's Ferry, and then it goes
into
through
Maryland,
Pennsylvania, New York, wow, Connecticut,
Massachusetts,
and
Vermont, New Hampshire, and then it finally finishes in northern Maine at Katahdin.
Wow, and what is that? What is Katahdin?
Katahdin is the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. It was actually a sacred mountain to the Indians in the area, the Native Americans, and they believed that it was haunted by the spirit of Pamola, who is the Penobscot god of thunder. And if you went up the mountain and you weren't of pure heart, Pamola would kill you.
Oh, wow.
Right, and that's the last scene of your play. So,
well, don't tell them.
Yeah, well,
that's all right.
There's a lot. It's actually what leads up to it. All the things that lead up to it. So these characters who are in your play, are these like the people you met and knew?
In a lot of ways, yeah. The play, I'd say, is about 90% fact, but it's not all... It's like a fictionalized memoir. Every character
dramatized it, combined characters, that kind of a thing.
Exactly. I've taken aspects from one hiker and shoved them in with aspects from another. So all the characters are composites. And then what happens in the play. Every story they tell is true, and everything that happens in the play happened. It may not have happened in that order. It may not have happened to the people it happened to, but it's all true.
Now, how many people are in your cast?
It's a 5-person play.
Okay, and are you in it?
I'm not. No,
You're not,
I'm a
okay.
playwright. I was a playwright and
You
producer.
didn't star yourself, right?
No, you know, I feel it's very important to, I really like the collaborative process in art. So it's very important to me to bring in other people because they can add a lot of distance and add things that I didn't notice to the play, and then I just take credit for it.
All right. So, so tell me a little bit more about. Tell us. I saw the play, and I really enjoyed it. And where can people see the play? How can they learn more about it?
Well, the play is currently playing at the Cow Theater, 21A Clinton Street in the Lower East Side, and it's between East Houston and Stanton. This is actually one of the first productions going up at the Cow. It's a new space. And it's running this tonight at 8. Obviously, just started, and it's running through till Sunday at 3 p.m.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a way to. Is there a website?
Yeah. What you want to do is you want to go on stateofplaytheater.com. And you can also go to brownpapertickets.com, search North to Maine, or you can go to my website, that's www.brentonlengel.com.
Okay.
And,
Lengel, right?
Lengel, yes.
Right. All right, Brenton.
Well, should we see the
Yes,
clip?
we have a clip, a 5-minute clip of the play that I put together, and let's go to the video.
I needed an adventure.
An adventure.
Ever since college, it's like, I graduated, and my dad was all like, "You're a graduate now. Now, it is time for a career. You need to make at least 40,000. That's what a graduate makes." The problem is, if you want to make 40,000, you need to choose a career, not just a job, a career. A place where you're expected to work for years, and they want people who want promotions and health insurance, and I don't want that.
What do you want?
I want that. I want what Frodo has.
You want to drop a ring into a volcano.
And by doing so, save the world? I know the world doesn't work like that, but I don't know. A band of heroes doing great deeds? I know it's silly, but there are no more great deeds left. Would it be awful if I kissed you?
What?
If I kissed you? Would it be awful?
No. It wouldn't be awful.
Okay. Something about a 15-mile desert.
Oh, Adam.
What?
That is your name, right? What?
I don't know your name.
Alice.
Alice.
Right. Now I'm down to the essentials. Tent, stove, tarp. Fuel, backup fuel, thermarest, bag liner, rain gear, fleece down jacket, GPS, cell phone, camera, knife, emergency backup knife, backpack and computer, keyboard, harmonica, juice hog, Gladys, and my mittens.
Gladys?
Oh, my guitar man, gotta have her on every mile of this thing.
Man, that stuff must weigh 40 pounds.
60.
You really want to carry all
Why
that?
not? We have more than that in the Corps.
I forgot, you're an ex-Marine.
Well, how could you forget, boy?
Just slipped my mind.
Once a Marine, always a Marine. You remember that.
Yes, sir, Chief.
It's all right if you make fun of me. I know I'm a bit of a character. But don't mock a Marine salute.
I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
What's the big deal with saluting? I see you salute people all the
Not
time.
people. Marines. Marine salute is sacred. You remember back in Unionville, New York, when the mayor put us up at his house?
Yeah.
You remember when Kevin saluted him?
Well, yeah. But
Exactly. The mayor, being an old Army guy, knew what it meant for Kevin to salute him, a non-Marine like that. Kevin snapped off one hell of a salute, too. Crisp and strong. The way a private would salute a general. Major respect, you understand?
I guess. I'm a grown man. I know what's best for me.
Okay. So what's best for you is to sit in a canyon next to a dead animal carcass.
Just mind your own business.
You're my friend. That's my business.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I don't think I can stand.
All right. Well, that's some clips from your play, right? And I really wish I could have played more because there's another actor in the play who I couldn't videotape because they're in the Actors Equity. So, unfortunately, we missed some of the even hotter stuff that was there. But I think people can see that it was a great, I love your writing style. You did a great job. It was really funny.
Well, I'd like to ask you something about your career. Did you go to school to study playwriting? Did you go to college? Have you written other plays?
I have written a lot of other plays, actually. I went to the University of Kentucky, and I studied originally to be an actor.
Okay.
And while I was there, I actually got two really great writing mentors. One is Gurney Norman, who's an old hippie, actually, and he's currently the poet laureate of Kentucky. And I studied under him. He was the first person that told me I could be a professional writer. And I also studied under Herman Farrell III, who is a former new dramatist.
Okay.
And what's funny is he moved from New York, from Harlem, to Kentucky. And I met him in Kentucky and then completely by accident moved straight up to New York to his old neighborhood in Harlem. And both of them have been incredible mentors to me.
Oh, that's wonderful, yeah.
Especially Herman. He actually made the trip all the way up from Kentucky to see the show.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Great.
All right, excellent.
Wow. So Kentucky. So is that where are you from originally? I didn't tell you.
Me? I'm actually a military brat. I was born in Naples, Italy, raised for 2 years in Catania, Sicily, and then we moved to Pennsylvania, and from Pennsylvania to Virginia, Virginia to Kentucky, Kentucky to Ohio, Ohio to Kentucky again, and then I moved to New York.
Okay. Interesting. So, and how did you discover you could write theater?
Well, what had happened was my senior year, I needed to do a senior project, and I couldn't get into a show. Like, the professors had to pick you, and for whatever reason, they didn't want to pick me.
As an actor.
As an actor, yeah. So I had it in my head that I would write I'd write a play and use that as my senior project. So I sat down and I wrote out my first play, which is called Trojan Men, and it's about what it's really like to be in a fraternity. And that actually was a Eugene O'Neill semifinalist, and I also got an A on it. Hasn't been produced yet, but I'm really hoping to get that one out there.
And that's not a one-man show either, right?
No. I actually tend to write very large cast shows, much to the chagrin of my producers. My shows, I think North to Maine actually is the smallest cast I've ever had so far, which is 5.
Yeah.
Which is both a lot of fun, but it's also made things hard for me in theater because we're at a point where professional theaters won't even look at your work unless you've got like 6 or fewer characters.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Tell us about the other people that are working on the production, like your director, you have a costume designer, who else?
Well, the
is
company,
involved?
the producing company is called State of Play Productions, and I came on with them. I'm the playwright in residence for that company.
Okay,
I
great.
met them through the Estrogenius Festival, which was the first thing I ever had staged in New York. Was done at the Estrogenius Festival at Manhattan Theater Source. And after the after the show closed, the lead actor, who was Adam LaFosse that you saw, he was the guy wearing the Confederate hat.
Oh, okay, great.
He told me to submit to his company, and I did, and they ended up bringing me on. So
Fantastic.
I've done, they've brought 3 of my shows to full productions. There was a thing that was said about playwrights. They said the nicest thing you can ever do for a playwright is to produce 5 of his works.
Oh, okay.
His first 5 plays. So they got 2 more they got to do with me.
How do you write a play? How is it done? How do you start? What's the first step? And when you by collaboration, how does the collaboration work with that?
Well, my process is going to be different than a lot of people's. I tend to start with an image. I have a very, very specific image or feeling in my mind, and I kind of go from there. North to Maine started with the image of a thru-hiker packing in his room at home and packing the Lord of the Rings.
So you mean a visual image?
Yeah, I very much work visually. I actually started out, one of the other things I did before I found my calling as a writer was I was a cartoonist. And I was a big, big fan. I think Bill Watterson, who did Calvin and Hobbes, is like the biggest artistic influence on my life. So I very much will start with an image. I have a play called Berserker about Vikings and religion that will probably get me stabbed when it comes to the stage. And that one started very much with just this very cold image of a table propped up against a wall and a bunch of Vikings standing around holding grogs of mead.
I see.
So what about like your lighting designer, set designer, people like that?
We had a bunch of really great people to work with. Eric Parnas is the director of the show, and he has been a huge, huge champion. He's the artistic director of Resonance Ensemble. Adam LaFosse and Michelle Concha, who was the girl that we saw in the clip.
Okay, the actors.
They are both actors and producers. In fact, Michelle was the lead producer on the show itself. We also, the rest of our company is Jessica Crean, who worked in our box office and helped us manage a lot of aspects. She's a really phenomenal director. You should watch for her. Then we also had Melanie Clark, who has helped coordinate everything behind the scenes. As far as the people that were on stage, you had the character Rockstabber, the guy with the big beard. That's Joey Bauer.
Yeah, he was funny. He was hysterical. The hoorah thing. He was. Was he a Marine?
No, he was not a Marine, as far as I know.
He's got it down, man. He's got it down.
That's acting.
I tell you, he's got it down. And I wish we could have shown, as I said earlier, the other fellow who we couldn't show in the clip, but he was great. And I love that opening scene when the initial character, who's like the young newbie in green, never done it before, and he's just doing it to have an adventure because he doesn't want to have a career, and he, of course, runs into his friend. The person becomes his friend later. I'm not sure all the characters say, and he's screaming. He's screaming at him. I saw this crazy guy taking a dump right next to the trail.
Oh dear!
Right.
That's a great. And that happened actually.
I bet. Right. You're not supposed to do that.
No. You got to go 50 feet off and dig a cat
Which you make a
hole.
big point in that, right? Right.
Yeah.
Also, I love the only woman in the cast, Juicebox.
Yeah.
What is Juicebox? Where did she get that name? Everybody has a trail name, right? Is that true? What was your trail name, Brent?
My trail name was Philadelphia Greenberg, spelled with an F, which was part of a very long, drawn-out joke that I won't get into now.
So every time people would see you at different times, as you hiked, you would be hey, there's Philadelphia Greenberg.
Yeah,
and you had to say the whole thing, Philadelphia Greenberg.
No, I allowed them to nickname
To call
me.
you
Right,
Philly.
because what was the other character's name with the name and wanted both
Creature
names?
Man.
Creature Man, right? Creature Man always wanted, you couldn't call him
Now,
Creature.
do
No, I'm not Creature.
Do people make up their own moniker, or are they given a name?
Some people make it up. The tradition is that other hikers are supposed to name you. So if you have a specific habit, you'll get a name.
So it could get dangerous.
Yeah.
If you come in and you're a guy who's always carrying a hatchet, somebody might start calling you Hatchet. If you're Juicebox, I always imagine got that name because she showed up with a big 6-pack of fruit juice packets. And there were a lot of them. And my trail name was Philadelphia Greenberg. There was a guy named Dr. Zayas. There was
Do
a
you
guy
ever slip off the trail and get a hotel room?
Yes, actually. The trail goes through...
You mentioned that too. One of the characters mentioned that in the play at a couple points, right?
So you're not always in a tent.
No. And in fact, there's
You
shelters
need a break
set
once
up.
in a while. Yeah,
you
that was
really need a
interesting.
break. You need to wash your clothes.
Right. But yeah, tell about the shelters. That was
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
The Appalachian Trail Conservancy and the other trail conferences, because there's a trail conference in every state, actually provide shelters which look usually like a cabin with one edge knocked off.
Like a little lean-to. Or
Yeah, a little
something.
lean-to. Now, some of them are huge. Some of them are made of stone. Some of them are as large
Oh,
as
so
houses.
multiple people can sleep
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but those are provided every 5 to 15 to 25 miles along the trail. So a lot of people will hike from shelter to shelter. Other people will camp, and then you come to a town every 5 to 7 days.
Okay.
And there's a lot of trail towns. Damascus, Virginia. My favorite one actually is Hot Springs, North Carolina, which is right on the Tennessee-North Carolina border. In there's an inn called the Sunnybank Inn. Which is where a vegetarian Taoist named Elmer, he runs it, and he'll put you up as a thru-hiker for $20 a night. And this is like an old place.
Cool.
It looks like a place you should be paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to stay in, and there should be little chairs roped off that you're not allowed to sit in. And you stay with him. He'll cook you a great vegetarian Taoist breakfast, and you can go down to the French Broad River and pay $12 to soak in the hot springs.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Now, but also in the play, you guys had a discussion early on about whether or not you should bring a gun or a knife, or is it safe, or is it we all hear all kinds of stories. How safe is the Appalachian Trail?
It's extremely safe. It's way safer than New York City. The thing is
funny.
that and it's, like I said, it's like how everyone's afraid of flying because of crashing or terrorists. But I mean, the odds are you're going to be killed in a car way before. Or,
On the way over to the airport, it's much higher chance. Right.
So the AT, one of the big things that the community made me realize is that this is a community. It's run on random acts of kindness from strangers. It's run on trusting people, and it completely rejuvenated my belief in the goodness of man. I think in a lot of ways it actually contributed to me becoming an anarchist politically, because the community's run in a very anarchic manner. There's no law, no police, but we all take care of each other.
Now, do most people go solo, or do most people decide to do it in groups? What is the general trend in that?
It really depends. An AT through hikers, the unofficial motto of the AT is hike your own hike.
The Appalachian Trail. AT is the Appalachian Trail, right?
The Appalachian Trail,
which is for anybody. We have a lot of people who might not be as aggressive and as adventurous as us, but that's the Appalachian Trail, and that, for folks who don't recognize it, is the east coast of the United States, about 2,000 miles long. So you can imagine.
The elevation gain on a northbound through hike is more than you'd have to climb Everest more than 7 times to do this.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
that's
gosh!
Interesting. Oh, that's another reason to go southbound. It's downhill.
Downhill, right? And of course, as
my
you go
instincts were right.
and they mentioned that I think that New York State, even Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont are more arduous than the other parts of the hike as you get further north.
Well, this trail all has its own unique challenges. Georgia is really hard because you're just starting and you're really out of shape. And then North Carolina and Tennessee are very rocky, but you get some really gorgeous stuff. Virginia is hard psychologically. It's supposed to be flat. It's not. But the trails are a lot easier than they would be otherwise. But you're in Virginia for 700 miles. So, you get in there, you've gone through all these states, you feel like you're doing great, and then suddenly you're in Virginia for like 3 weeks. And they call it the Virginia blues. You get depressed.
What about shoes? How many pairs of shoes did you go through?
I went through 4.
Oh, wow.
4 pairs of shoes. 2 big pairs of boots and 2 pairs of trail runners.
And which is the best way of all those?
In my opinion, trail runners, 100%, because 1 pound on your foot is like 5 pounds on your back. The lighter a shoe you can get, the
What
better.
was that saying about pounds in your pack? Is
Ounces make pounds and pounds make pain.
ounces make pounds and pounds make pain. I like that. That's interesting. Ounces make pounds and pounds make pain. How about women? How many women do it? I mean, you have one woman in the cast. How many women do it?
Not as many as men. There's it's kind of like seen as like a guy kind of macho thing to do. But there are women that hike the trail. Some of them are out hiking with their husband or partner.
Sure.
There's actually a large queer community that hikes, and then there's also there's a few solo women that do it as well, and they tend to be in very high demand.
Right. Okay. I bet. That's what you bring that out in the case, of course. Poor Juice Box gets a lot of attention.
Exactly.
But she's tough. She knows how to handle it. She knows what she's getting into, right? Great. And a couple more minutes. Tell us, Brenton Lengel, north to Maine. Where can people see it? How can they see it?
They can see the play right now. It was having its world premiere production, and it's running through till the 13th of this month. So 6/13 at 3 p.m. is when we close. We're at 21A Clinton Street, the Cow Theater, between Stanton and East Houston. And if they need to get tickets, go on to brownpapertickets.com, search North to Maine. The script, if they want to read the script, it's actually been published on indietheaternow.com.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And we've been getting tremendous reviews, both from women around town and also newyorktheater.com.
And let them talk, because I'm giving you a great review. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I enjoyed it. I'm not as an expert on how these things are put together as Joni and yourself. I can just be a person who went in and saw it and enjoyed it. And I can tell the audience, if you go to this play, you will enjoy it, and you'll laugh, and you'll have a great time, and you'll say, finally, I saw a play that was good, that an indie producer made and writer.
There's lots of good plays,
It's about
Paul.
time.
That's a really good quote. I'm going to use that. You guys are wonderful.
That's my quote, all right? And I'm sticking with it. All right, great. All right, 2 more minutes. Tell us a little bit about what your next plans are, because you must be thinking about the next thing, right?
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of plays coming up. I'm working on a play called No Gods, No Kings, about the Catalonian anarchists during the Spanish Civil War. I think
And by the way, we
incredible.
met at Occupy Wall Street. And you were, of course, you're an Occupy Wall Street supporter of the utmost, and I saw you every day pretty much down there in Zuccotti Park. That's how we met.
Yeah.
So just so you should know that background. So you're doing a play about Spanish anarchists.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
Yeah,
I'm glad turn your talents and your pen to that.
I'm very
Good
excited
job.
about that. My next producing project is probably going to be Berserker, if I can find someone to produce it, which is kind of like a Viking Passion of the Christ. If at the end Jesus came back and beat everybody up.
Oh, he should.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And then I've also got a screenplay of North to Maine in the works that will hopefully be shot next summer. And I'm working on
On location?
Yes, that's the plan. It's
Wow.
on location. We've actually, I did want to mention this, the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, which is the national nonprofit that oversees the whole Appalachian Trail.
Sure.
They are a wonderful organization. They run on an army of volunteers, and they came on and supported this play because, as I say in the play, hikers take care of hikers.
Right.
So you guys really should definitely check them out, and if possible, become a member, because this is a uniquely American thing. It's the longest hiking-only path in the world, and they really need the support.
Cool. Well, it makes me
Yeah,
want
it's
to
a
do it.
wonderful thing.
But between some of the stories I saw in your play and the stories I heard from the book that Joni read about it,
Yeah, the walk
I
in
don't
the
know if I'm
woods.
ready. Although,
Well, they were kind of slackers, the
Right.
walk in the woods guys.
Oh, yeah.
So they were fun.
all right, 20 seconds to go. Brenton Lengel, thank you so much for joining us on Let Them Talk. Next time you do your next play, we want to have you on, talk about it, and play some more clips, and maybe meet the actors and other folks involved.
Absolutely, I'd love to. We'd have the actors here, except they're running a show
Yeah.
right
I
now.
know.
Well,
And
thanks
right,
so
okay, and I
much.
hope everybody goes see it. Thank you very much for joining us on Let Them Talk. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.